All right, so today I want to show you the 100% strategy that I received a couple of days ago from Lord Almighty. So I'm going to hide these floating reading tools and I'm going to show you what I mean. I'm going to go back a little bit ways, probably to scope daily. So I can go back, make sure that shrink all these things here. Let's go back in time. And all you need is two moving averages. It's going to be really simple. You're using the 1 hour time frame and let's go. So basically, this is what we do. Wait for a moving average cross, right? Once you get the moving average cross, so for instance, this one right here, let's look at this one. We're going to do as they come. We're going to show you how to trade as they come. 1 hour time frame, you get the moving average cross, all right? So you take the low and the high, the most extreme low, and the most extreme high prior to the pullback that came after the moving average cross to find your pips. So this low to this high, that's 100, let's call it 150 pips. So you divide 150, you divide your capital by 150, and that'll give you your lot size to trade with. So let's say, for instance, we had $100, right? So you take that $100 and you divide it by 150. Your lot, and then you round up to the nearest uh number. So in this case, your lot size would be a point 0.7. And so once it comes close to the moving average, you enter for a buy with a point 0.7, and that's point 0.7 times that number, point 0.7 times 230. So $161, right? And you continue to do that. That's really all you look for moving average cross. You got this one. You had about 3 hours to enter this trade, and you take this high and the previous high and low, not these baby moves, but the major moves. So you had the moving average cross to take this high and this low, the most extreme high, the previous extreme high and low, the max, the furthest uh, out, the farthest part of the range prior to that move. So you take this high. This is the previous high, and then this is the previous extreme low. So that's 270 pips. So you take your capital divided by 270 pips, that's your lot size. And you get out where you're comfortable, right? And you just continue to do that. I'm just going to continue to give you some more instances. Um, Moving average cross, it pulled back here, which now mind you, these are days. Each one of these breakers are days, period separators. So you take this low and this high. So that's 180 pips divided into your capital. And that's your lot size. I'm trading brilliant. That's your lot size to enter this trade, right? And you're good, right? Now, the first time after the move, the first time the moving average point price comes back and touches the moving average, preferably on the 1 hour time frame, the first time price comes back to touch the 50 moving average, it's still going to go up. It may not be as um, may not be as extreme, but you're going to get some pips to the upside. So don't worry about this pull down because where you're going to enter, you're entering at the close of the candle that touches the 50 moving average. And so this brings me to the next part of the strategy is what do you do when you miss the day the moving average cross, but price is still going up, moving averages are still far. Okay. So you wait. So moving average comes to here, it comes to touch this moving average, right? So you take the previous move, the previous high and low. So this is the most extreme low. This is the most extreme high. Take this to figure out how many pips this is. 340 pips. Divide that into your capital size, and this is your lot size to enter the trade. Even if it pulls down to here, it's not going to pull down 340 pips, because if for it to pull down 340 pips, that would say that the market doesn't have structure. So we're using the market structure against itself to get the proper lot size, which guarantees us the best risk management, and also guarantees us 100% accuracy just by using the moving averages as our our entry. So now you're not going to always be able to catch every major move, and that's okay. All right. So this move is shot down. Okay, it's fine. You pull it back up to the moving average. You take this high and that low. That's 300 pips. Divide that into your capital, and it doesn't seem like it doesn't seem like you would make a lot of money doing this, because you're dividing your capital by a large amounts of pips. But it's not so much about um, how much money you make every trade as it is about growing your capital. The more capital you have, it doesn't matter what you divide your capital by, because it's always going to be bigger than what you had the previous day. And then also being content. Every trade is not going to go for a long amount of time. Every trade is not going to, especially this in this instance, it's a counter trend trade, right? Every trade is not going to give you a huge amount of pips. The the pips is not the goal. The huge amount of pips on every trade is not the goal. The goal is to continue to get your trades right. That's the ultimate goal. Every trade you want to take, you want it to be right. So we have a strategy that works. Now we got to master the ability to make sure that our risk management doesn't put us in the opportunity to be stopped out, or to be and as you can see, I'm not even using stop loss, because I'm using market structure to guarantee my trade. Okay, so let's say, for instance, I'm gonna go get my pen and paper to kind of keep tabs on. You know what? I'm gonna just do it like this. All right. So let's say, for instance, all right, at this point, you have $261. You started off with $100. You took one trade and you made $161. So now your capital is 261. So you take that 261 divided by 300, and that gives you a lot size of 0.87. You round up to the nearest number. It's a point 0.9. A point 0.9, and you get 100 pips. That's 100. That's $90. So now you at 351. It don't seem like much, but the more you can. This strategy. I will compare it to the story of the tortoise and the hare. It doesn't seem like you're getting anywhere, but you don't realize that getting every trade right. Yeah, you may not hit the numbers in a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, but you see the gradual growth, right? It's something that you can bank on. And then also it teaches you not to force every trade, because the moving average is not crossing every day on a 1 hour time frame, right? And then even after you get a continuation on the moving average cross, it may be a day after, the day after, or the third day after. Know when not to trade because of the range. Know when not to trade. When the moving averages go flat, you shouldn't be looking to trade. Now you're at 351. So we have a moving average cross, and we take the previous move. So we got this to here. That's 150. So 351 divided by 150, your lot size is 2.34. So we're going to round down to the nearest number, 2. So your lot size is 2. So you have 351, and then you get in here. Let's go over, see what we got. And you hold this trade to the until it ranges. It ranges here at 500 something. So let's call it. So that's 1,000. So now you're at 1351. Yes, it's taking some time, but it's consistent. Then what do you have? You have a pull. You have a price coming down out of the range. Um, it touches the moving average, right? It doesn't close under the moving average, so and you can get in here. But what do you use to dictate your lot size? It's the previous extreme low and the previous extreme high. the whatever pip amount that is. So from the low to this high, that's 300. Let's call it 300 pips. So you can divide that 1351 by 300, giving you a lot size of 4.5, making it a point, making your lot size a point 0.5, which is $5 a pip. So you get in here, no stop loss, because it's not coming down 300 pips. And then it go, and mind you, that's the first time price touched the 50 moving average since it took off to the upside. At the high of the day, that's 250, 270. Let's just call it 250. So that's $1,250. So now you have 1351 plus 1250. That's 2601, right? 2601. And like I said, it doesn't feel like you're going anywhere, but it's not about the feeling of going somewhere. It's about going somewhere. You don't feel it because it's not drastic. It's not humongous. It's not something that you can say, "Oh man, I made $1,000 billion." That's not the point, right? So now, what do we get? It's still going up. We got higher highs and higher lows. So the next day, price comes back to the 50. It comes and does it again. But what do we take? What do we use to get our trade size? The previous maximums, the previous maximum high, previous maximum low, whatever this range is, whatever this amount of pips is, that's 380 pips. So you take that 2601 divided by 380. That's 6.8. Let's make our lot size 7. So our lot size is 7. We enter here and we hold it. I have no reason to get out of this trade. We got higher highs and higher lows. Moving averages have not crossed. And then we get a push to the upside, 400 pips. So that's 2,800. 2,800 plus 2601, that's 5401, right? Like I said, it doesn't feel like it. On top of that, you don't even realize that this is in 2021. So it looks like it's not doing anything. But even with that being the case, you continue to do this and your capital continues to grow, right? You had a moving average cross here. Take this. That's 90 pips. 54 divided by 90 is 60. So now you can take a bigger trade, right? Even though it's short lived, 60 pips and you can get out at the low. That's another 3,600. That takes your capital from 5401 to 9,000. And you're just taking what's given. Moving average cross, you take the low and the high. 1786, that's 180. So 9,000 divided by 180, that's 50. So now you entered your trade. Whether it comes down or not, you know it's not going to come back down 180 pips. It's not. So 50 pips to the upside, that's another 7,000. 50 times 14, 140 is 7,000. So now you're at 16,000 in capital. And you started off with $100. Now, yes, it takes time. That's the whole purpose. You want it to grow. You want to slow cook this. You don't want to go where the trades you take are only good because you're making money and you don't know why. You don't have a strategy to where if I was to put a blindfold on you, spin you in circles 3 times, and sit you in front of a computer, you still wouldn't know what to do, even though you're getting your trades right. No, it's better to know what to do. Slow grow your account. Because once you hit a certain amount of capital, it don't matter. It don't matter. Like I was talking to someone and I said, whether you drive in a Escort or a Bugatti, the journey is to get there, not to see what you're driving in. As long as you get to where you got to go, that's all that matters. All right, so we got a moving average cross here. All right, so let's look at this. Previous high, previous low. 19, let's call it 200. So 16,000 divided by 200. Lot size is 80, right? 80 pips, 80 lots. And you get here, that's 70. So 80 times 70, that's 5,600. New account balance is 21,600. You have a moving average cross here, right? Now this one is a little bit tricky because it didn't go where you want. It didn't go too far, right? And then it looped down. So in this case, this would still be a part of you gotta that's why you gotta know how to look at the ranges or whatever. You have a range, right? You got high, high, high. You got a high, a lower high. These are both lower highs in this high. So you can't get lost in everything that you don't see something. And then also sometimes, especially in these cases, it's best to when you have a moving average cross that changes in the same day, you're better off waiting until the next day to see what happens because you don't want to take a trade thinking it's going to go up and you wake up and it's on the other side. So sometimes it's best to put in practice a one trade day or to close, especially if you already got profit. There's no reason for you to enter this trade and you already got up. Now the next day it comes, it goes from this and gives you this. So you got a moving average cross, and then you got this slight pullback, but you take this high and this low to find your divisor for your capital. So 180. So 21,600 divided by 180, that's 120 pips, $120 per pip, and it goes down. So at the low, let's say that 120 was at 350. So that's 42,000. So now you're in the big boy league. You're almost at 100 grand. So 42,000 plus 21, that's 63,000. And you're just doing the same thing. You're not even forcing no trades. You're not going into a lower time frame. You're just sticking to what you know. That's all you're doing, sticking to what you know. Um, moving average didn't cross until here, right? But even so, you take this, that's 400. So 63,000 divided by 400, that's 157. So let's make it 160. So 160 a pip. Once you finally get that moving average cross, you get in for the buy. That's another 100 pips. So 63,000 plus 16,000, that's 79. And this all started from 100 pips, $100. You're not doing anything fancy. You're not adding no crazy. You're not adding any crazy indicators. It's just this. That's all it is. And then once you get to trades like this is where it gets interesting because you don't have to take every trade. Purposely take days off, right? You see this move happen. This move after moving average cross, you see this move happen. You take the high and the low. Let's call it 600 pips, right? So 79,000 divided by 600, that's 131.2, 131.6. So it's $130 a pip, right? Now watch this. $130 a pip all the way to here. That 130 times 1,000. That's 130,000. You already had 73,000. So now you got 203,000 just by taking in one trade because moving averages didn't cross. You didn't have a reason to get out of this trade, right? So mind you, this is where we ended from 100, but we started where we started. Let's see where we can find where we started off with this 100. So we started off with this 100 around here. We took a trade here. We started off here. Then we took another trade here. So really, we can say technically we started off right here. So from what day is this? From May 13th to, and this is not even when gold was volatile. This is just normal gold. From May 13th to June 18th, about a month. So you went from $100 to 203,000, and you still have the skill. Now, once you get into bigger amounts of money, the growth is exponential, like 203,000, right? So let's just go to where we are now, right? Let's look at this. Let's look at what we have now. So we're gonna go to, let's say for instance, we picked up in February. Got a moving average cross here, right? No pullback. We had a slight pullback here. Okay, so you take uh the low to the high. That's 2,000 pips. So you divide that 200,000 by 2,000, your lot size is 100, right? You get in here, it drops down 90 grand. It come back up 720 pips, which is 72 grand. You take that. So now you had 275,000. And we're using the same strategy. Nothing has changed. Moving average cross, you take the previous high and low. How many pips is that? That's say 2,000. So you do it again. So 275,000 divided by 2,000. That's 137. Let's make it $140 a pip. And then we enter and we get out. So 140 at 2,000 times 2,000 pips. That's 280,000. So you basically over a half. Let's call it 540. Hold on 1 second. This is my dad.